Hello everybody, I'm Alicia. Welcome to my Beautiful Nights channel. I'm very excited to do this video because for this tutorial I'm going to show you guys how to make another flower ring, but because I only have enough materials to make one of them, I thought that I would get all of my flower ring designs out that I have made all together in one place and just show you guys all the different ways that you can make flower rings. And if you've watched my videos, I've been on YouTube for almost 10 years, you should know that I love to make beaded flower rings, bracelets, necklaces, hair barrettes, anklets. I've even done French beaded flowers. I do flower everything. So let's go back to the beginning. The very first flower I ever made was this one right here. It's just done with teardrops, large teardrops, and this one here with large leaf beads. And there's only one row of petals, and I did one of my favorite ring bands, the Lattice Ring. And this is a very long time ago. I don't know how old this video is, but this is pretty old. And so I have some more here that I did with Monroe. These beads here, these calsilica beads, are actually from a viewer, the first person to ever send me anything, and I just love how this turned out. I actually had seed beads to match that, and that is so cool. So I'm just going to show you and hopefully inspire you different ways that you can make your rings. You can go back to my YouTube channel, go to my playlist, and you will see all of the tutorials, because every single ring here I have a tutorial on. So this is just like an overview of things that I've done in the past. I've also have done seed bead rings. I have a bunch of these here. These have one flower in them. These have three. I also did this pattern in a bracelet and an anklet, and I had all the information in the video on how you can do that if you want to go back. And after I did the one row of petals, I'm like, I should do 2 rows, because if I can have these 4mm beads there, I should be able to do 2 rows. And so I did this one here. I have 2 petals. I have lentils, and these are actually flower petal beads. That color there is incredible. And I did several color variations of this ring, as you can see, because I like doing that, because sometimes when you see a project and maybe you don't like the color mix, so the design doesn't appeal to you, but if it's done in a color you like, then you're going to want to do design. That's what I've noticed. And I've even showed how to make wire rings. So if you have these rose beads, or even lotus, they make these acrylic or resin. They come in acrylic or resin flowers in different shapes. I've done that. There's another one, and I've even taken bead caps and I've made a bouquet of flowers, because sometimes one flower just is not enough. And again, I have multiple colors here, as you can see. And here's another one. This one, I have 2 rows of petals. This flower is very big. It kind of looks like a lily. And then the bottom, I had these green beads that are the base, and they actually make the petals sit flat and spread out like this. So I have tried so many different kinds and shapes of beads, and I've gotten multiple results, as you can see. Now this one here is done with 3 layers. This is the only ring I have in this one. This was actually a recent tutorial I did not too long ago. So I have petal beads, teardrops, and I have these spiky looking beads with like twisted spikes. Pretty cool. Today's ring is actually going to be a little similar to this, but I will have 4 rows, which have I done? Yes, I have done more. I've done more than 4, and I'm just going to keep going and show you. So this one here has 1, 2, 3. That one has 4 rows, and these 2 here. This one here is one of my very favorites. This one has the most rows I've ever done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows, and look at that. It is one of the prettiest. Those are the smallest daggers that you can buy. I have a tutorial on this if you want to go and check it out. I love this one. It is beautiful. And I think I made this one at the same time that I did this one, or it was like close in because this one has petals. See, they're sort of similar, but this one has petals. And these here I did When I first designed this ring, I did it with sequins. So this was the first one that I made with sequins. And then I tried some different colors. I tried stacking the sequins because sequins aren't very durable. And this is what I ended up with. And I had some wooden sequins or beads that I found at a thrift store. So I tried those and I got this really cool looking ring. This one was recent and it has a big center, as you could see, compared to the other ones. Very large center, and I used the lintels around the edge there. And here's more. This one here is made the same way that the sequin is made of. This one here is 2 layers, but this is done with a triangle shaped petal bead and pips on top. And I already showed this one earlier in the red, but here it is in the blue. And I've even played around with the ring band to make it look like a vine. So this one kind of looks like a ladder vine. I thought that was cool. And this one here, these two, I would say maybe these 3 are some of my most favorite that I've ever made. These are really big, but these beads that I used are really incredible. Those right there, I love those so much. And those, they are gorgeous. And this is one done with shells, and there is another one done with some bead caps. So I just wanted to show you guys the huge array of flower rings that I've made. Here's a list of materials you will need to make this ring. You're going to need to cut 4 feet of 10-pound monofilament. I already went ahead and cut mine, and I colored the ends with a red and black permanent marker. You can also use nail polish to coat the ends. That does last like throughout the entire making of the piece, but I find that it makes my monofilament thicker, and it has like a tackiness to it even though it's dry, and I have a hard time passing through the smaller seed beads, but you could do whatever works for you. Really, I prefer not to use any colorant on the ends, but for you guys, because you do request it, because I started doing this a long time ago, I still do it for you guys. So, other than the 4 feet of 10-pound monofilament, you're going to need these Czech beads right here. And I got all 4 of these from Czech Beads exclusive monthly subscription box. If you did not get this box, that is okay. And I'm telling you this because you can go to their site and get more colors. So these here are purple Picasso, and I went onto their site because I wanted to make sure they had these in stock, because sometimes when I make designs they don't have them in stock. And so here is on their site 30 Picasso opal terracotta Czech glass carved leaf flower beads. Oh my god, that is so long. But here they are in purple, and if you click this, there they are in pink. They are so beautiful, and you get 30, so you will have enough to make several flowers. And if I were you, I would get it in pink and in purple. And these here, I think they also came in pink, and you can change the colors up of those two if you want. So again, down there I will have links for the Czech beads. Go and get them. You will have amazing, gorgeous Picasso flowers. Oh, I love them so much. Okay, let's start out with the counts and the sizes. So I'm using 6 Czech pip beads, okay? I'm using 6 7x5mm Czech teardrop beads, 6 11x3mm Czech dagger beads, 6 7x12mm Czech leaf beads. I'm using 8 seed beads, and this here is where this ring is really different from the other ones. I was having issues with the third and fourth level of layers, and so I had an idea to go up in size with my 8 seed beads, and I got it to work. And I'm excited because I'm always finding new ways to improve things. So 8 seed beads, and also you're going to need 11 seed beads. These here are Czech, these are Miyuki, so you can use either brand, and I'm using 2 different colors. We're going to start by making the center, and I'm just going to pick up 6 11 seed beads. All of these rings, by the way, I always start by making the center. Okay, that's 5, and then there's my 6th one. So slide these down. You want to get past the colorant that we put on our string, so you can crisscross through the bead. Okay, and then put the ends together so they are even, and slide this bead down to the center, and we will end up with a circle, just like we always do. Okay, And then we're going to be doing the pips first. So I'm going to pick up one seed bead, a pip, okay, a seed bead, and we're going to crisscross to the seed bead. Just like that. Bring it down. Pull this tight. This area here, you have to pay close attention to pulling it tight, because how these beads are, they kind of want to have gaps. So we have to make sure we have no gaps. And the more layers you have in a flower, the more gaps you're gonna have if you don't keep it tight. Okay, so coming out of here, the bead I just crisscrossed through, we have to go through here. And you can also use, if you have any problems where it's too tight, you can use tweezers or pliers to get out. I used to be a huge tweezer lover, but now I have gone to bent chain nose pliers for doing this more, because they really do grip. Okay, now I'm going to pick up a pip and pick up a seed bead, crisscross both ends, just like that. Bring it down. Okay. Now coming out of this seed bead, this string's going outward. That's the string we always pick up new beads with. The string that's pointing inward, that's the one we have to reposition ourselves. So I have to go through the next seed bead right there in the circle, that one. So I'm going to hold this still and pass through here like that. Pull the string through. Okay, pull it tight, and this is what you should have. So outside string, pick up more beads. I'm going to pick up a pip. I can't believe how much my red is already coming off my string here. It usually lasts way longer than this. Okay, seed bead, and we're crisscrossing through the seed bead. So usually, like the other rings I've made, I will have 2 layers done in this area here, but with this one we only get 1 layer done of petals, is what I'm saying. So crisscrossing through there, it's a little different. And I can't wait to show you guys the area where I put the 8 seed beads at, because I've never done it that way before, but I had to in order to make this one work. Every one that I do is a little bit different. And every time I make them, I usually take them apart and remake them again. So if you have beads at home, like the ones I'm using, but you don't have the same exact ones, go ahead and, oops, I'm picking the wrong bead, and try making your own flowers. You can go and watch all my videos. Use what you have at home. You've seen my techniques that I've done. And just try doing your own flowers with what petals you have. Crisscrossing through this one here. Okay, so I'm just doing the same thing all the way around till I have all 6 petals on. I have 4 done so far. Okay, now I have to get this string to go through here. Sometimes when the beads are touching, just go like that and separate them. Go through this seed bead. Okay, like that. Again, the outside string, remember you always pick up new beads with that one. So I really never rely on the colors of the ends. I'm always paying attention to what's going on here. Picking up 1 seed bead and crisscrossing through it. Like that. Pulling it tight. It's looking good. The first time I made this, I actually made it too loose and I had to redo it. Okay, I'm going through 2 seed beads this time because I'm at the close. I have to put my 6th petal in, so I'm going through this one. Come on. And the one beside it. And I like to try and go through them at the same time, but sometimes I can't. Sometimes I can only do one. So for now I'm going to go through just that one. Okay, right there. And then I'll go through this one because I can get through at this angle now. Okay, pull this tight. There we go. I'm going to put in my last pip bead now. And I will stop and recoat my monofilament. Crisscross through this pip. It's the first time we're crisscrossing through a pip because all this time we've been crisscrossing through the seed beads. And we have our first layer done. Now this layer here is crazy. It does not want to cooperate, but when we put in this row, that's going to make them stand up. So see how this is doming? This dome side, this will be the top, and this will be the bottom. Okay? So that's what we have so far. I'm going to lay this down with the dome rounded side like that, and we're going to work on the back of the flower. I'm going to take the right string because I'm right-handed, and I'm going to pick up one teardrop. Okay, slide him down, pick up a, come on, a dagger, and then a teardrop. Then I'm going to take my other string and crisscross through this teardrop. And again, it's very important that you pull this tight. And also you're going to have to pay attention to the direction that these teardrops are going because they do want to go inward. So I'm going to hold it like this. This is the string that I use to pick up all my beads. Hold this tight, take my other string, and I'm going to pass through this pip bead to reposition my string, and I might have to, I'm going to have to swap hands because I'm right-handed. Let's see. Come on. Okay. Pull that. Okay, see what we got going on right there? That's what it looks like. Pull that tight. Now with the outside string, we always pick up new beads with that one. So I'm going to pick up one dagger and one teardrop. And we're going to crisscross through this one. To make sure your tension's always tight, you just want to go back and check the last area you did before you pull the next one down. So see how this teardrop here is pointing inward? I need that to stick out. Okay? Because they're all going to be laying out like that. Okay? And then, let's see, can I do it with my left hand this time? Yes. Okay, so I took the string that's up here, I repositioned it through the pip. Always do that first, and then go to the outside string and pick up the new beads. It's going to be one dagger, one teardrop, crisscross through this, bring it down. Always make sure that your teardrop is pointing outward. Yep, okay. So that's what we have. It starts getting messy in this area because the beads are wanting to go in all different directions. We don't have it stabilized yet. We really need those petal beads. The very last row is what stabilizes these. Okay, I have to go back to my right hand. I can't do it with my left. And I have to reposition and go through the next petal bead. Okay, do there. And then I'm going to take the string that's on the right, the one I pick up my new beads with, pick up a dagger, pick up a teardrop, crisscross through this, Okay, I gotta make sure mine's twisting. I have to make sure that it's going to the bottom like that, and that my teardrops are pointing out. It's always the last one, not the one you just did, but the one before, that wants to go inward. It always wants to go inward because there's a hole there. Okay, and then taking the string here on the top and going through the next pip, pull that through, and then back to the outside string, pick up my dagger, my teardrop. These are so gorgeous. I love these. Crisscross both ends. Okay. Again, make sure that your teardrops are pointing out. So we just picked up our 6th teardrop, or 5th. We're gonna do our 6th, so this means we're at the close for this layer. So I'm going to take this string again that I reposition with, and I'm gonna go through that petal bead. Okay, through there, pull that through, and then I have to go down through this teardrop. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over, show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like upside down. We have 2 strings side by side. I have to pick up a dagger and crisscross through it, both ends, and we will have 3 levels complete. Pull it tight, and look at this. See how they stand up? But we are going to make them splay out. Now, these rings, the whole thing about this rings, how they're made, when you look at the top, I have the seed beads going this way, okay? And then the next one goes this way. And then the next teardrops goes this way. And then this dagger's going this way. These beads here are going, the hole is the same direction as the dagger. So I need something that will be in between the dagger and this petal bead. Now if I had another dagger, maybe a longer one, that would be awesome, okay? But I don't in the box that I got. I could go into my stash, but I'm trying to stay with what's in the box and not use what I have other than just basic stuff. So I'm going to use, here there, 8 seed beads. I only need 6 of them for this area. So what I'm going to do, like that, pull it tight. I have to line up these, by the way. Now there is one side, do you see that this side's round? Some of you may not see this. This side's round, okay? This side here is flat, and then it's like a point there. Do you see that, or am I crazy? And I have also wondered if there is a top and bottom, because it seems like this side here is the top because it's more curvy, and this one is more flat. So I'm going to be working on this upside down, and let's see, I'm going to be holding it this way. So I'm going to be working upside down. So this, I think, which one was the top? I think that's the top. So I'm going to lay it this way. Okay, so now I'm going to lay all the other beads that same direction. Okay, now that I picked up my beads and I know that the flat side, there's a flat side here, then there's a flat side there, it's like a point right here. This side is very curved and round. You have to really look closely at it and flip it over to see it. Look at both sides, and then once you see it, lay them all down, because it actually is not a straight leaf, it's kind of angled like this, so when you put them in a circle you'll see that they go like this, okay? But if you have one that's out of place, they're all going like this, and then there's one that's going the other way, so you'll know if it's wrong. You'll just undo it to that, because I did it myself. I saw that I had one going in the wrong direction. I had to take it back out, and I flipped it over. Okay, so now that they're laying down, I did recolor my strings again. I'm picking up an 8 seed bead, Okay, with my right string, I'm doing the red side. I'm going to pick up my next petal and I'm going straight through the bead like that. Try not to disturb the others. Sliding that down, crisscrossing through this 8-0. So I picked up 3. Sliding this down. Now because I'm doing 8-0 seed beads in this area and not daggers or some other teardrop bead, because I'm doing them, the dagger that I did earlier is going to lay on top of this leaf bead. See that? So that's different. We haven't really done that before. Okay, now I have to reposition my string. So like always, I take the one that's pointing inward at my work. Okay, let me make sure I'm going to the right one. And I have to go through this next. I cannot see what is going on. Let's see. Oh, okay, I'm right here. So I have to go through this bead here. So the 8-0 seed bead is going to sit underneath of the teardrop. I have to go through this dagger. I made it through. I just have a bead blocking me. So I'm going to wiggle, move the beads around, and then see, I got past it. Okay, so then pull this out. Then when you pull it tight, see how they're overlapping each other now? So then again, I'm going to lay this back down like this. Pick up my next petal bead. Pick up a seed bead, and as I go, I'm going to check and make sure that I'm picking up the leaf beads right. I think I laid them out correctly, but it is kind of hard to see if they are going at the right angle. So let's see. Okay, both of these are going like this. Do you see it? They're curving that way, both of them. Okay, now I'm going to hold it this way. I have to reposition again. I have to take this string and I'm going to go through the next dagger right below this teardrop. Okay, right there. So then I pull this down. This has to go, this dagger has to go through these loops like that, so that this petal can sit below it. And I need to make sure this is tight. This is another area that wants to get loose. You may have to actually grab these leaf beads and twist them that way so that they sit right, because they kind of want to go in sideways, if that makes sense. Okay, so again, I'm going to swap my hands, swap my strings, because I have to make sure that every time I pick up a new leaf that I pick it up with the same string, the one that's coming out, my right hand. Okay, and then pick up a 8-0, crisscross both of my ends. Okay, again, bringing this down, you want to make sure that you capture that dagger right there, because look, if I just pull this down, you're going to have this. There's a dagger that wants to stand up, and we need that to go out sideways. So I just pushed it out. See that? So now we have 3 daggers that are stacked on top of the leaves. So here I am, and I'm going to pull this tight again, and I want to make sure Yep, it looks like my petals are going in the same direction, but I'm going to twist that leaf right there because it was going at an angle, and I have to take this petal bead, which just flipped inward on me, so I'm going to take my pliers and pull it out. Okay, and then take my next string and pass through this dagger. Oh, come on. Am I doing the right string? I better make sure I am. Okay, just like this. You probably will have to separate your beads here, open this up so you can get in there. Also, the end of the monofilament is curved sometimes. See how curved mine is? So mine was pointing down, so I just twisted the monofilament and it helped me get through. So something as simple as that could cause a problem. Okay, I'm just making sure this is tight. Looks good. We are now in position to add our next petal. I'm going to lay this down, picking up the next petal. And then an 8/0. We are getting close to finishing this layer here. Okay. And again, make sure that dagger's sticking out because you want it to stack. Oh no, that dagger escaped. Do you see that? This dagger is inside. That must have got loose of me. See that? There's no dagger sitting on this. So all I have to do, I don't have to rip these beads out. I'm just loosening that up. I loosen this up. Okay, I push this dagger through. And then I go like this. Okay, pull this tight. And then I slide those back down. That's how I fix that. Ugh, this one just slipped. Past that one. Now. Okay. Alright, good thing I saw that. So there we are. 1, 2, 3, 4 that are stacked. Now I have another dagger to go through. So again, I'm going to take the string that's going down. But you know what? I should make sure, you have to check from the side, that there's no exposed stringing material, like big gaps. I don't really see any, so I think it's safe to move on. I have to flip this dagger out, take this string, pass through here, make sure your dagger stays stacked on top of your leaf bead. Okay, and then again, we're going to take the one that we pick up beads with, and we're going to go through the next petal. And then pick up an 8/0. Crisscross through this 8/0 seed bead, bring this down. Make sure that you push out that dagger, and then the petal pushes that up like that. Okay, and now we have a dagger here. As you can see, the last dagger is flipping in. So push that out. Sometimes I do use a bead awl for this instead of the pliers. Let me get my bead awl, or even like a T-pin. I use these too. So, flip my petals. Go just like that. Okay. Then take the inside string, and we are going to pass through this dagger. It's the last one. I might have to use my pliers for this. Let me see. Okay, this came loose. I couldn't help that. I had to let it do that so I can get through. But I'm just flipping my daggers in the right position. Now I came out right here of the dagger, as you could see, and I have to go up because we're at the closing point, and I need to make sure that my petal beads are going in the same direction, and it looks like they are. Okay, so this string has to go through this 8/0 seed bead so we can make this close. So I'm going to I'll take this stick pin, let's see if this works, and I'm going to go underneath here and make this bead stand up for me so I can pass my string through. Like that. Now I did try 11/0 seed beads in place of the 8/0s, and it was a pain in the butt. Like if you thought what we just did was hard, the 11/0s was way worse. Okay, now I'm going to pick up my last bead here, and this time we're crisscrossing through this petal. Or leaf. It's actually a leaf bead, but we are using them as petals in this. Okay. Push that dagger out. And pull this tight. So look at that. Look at how those daggers, they were standing straight up on the back of this, but putting those petals there, look at how flat this is. This is wanting to stay flat. So you can, because mine's a little twisted, I just go like this, push on it. Now my center there is sunken in, so I'm gonna get something out of my drawer. Let's see, this here, and push that out. A little out of shape. Okay, and there we go. That's now puffed back out, and all of our petals are sitting in the right place, and they all look like they're fanning to the left. See that? They're kind of like going this way. Do you see the fan? Okay, now we're going to do the back of the ring. Now normally I do this with 10/0s. I do 10/0s, because 11/0s I find it impossible, and I'm using 11/0 seed beads for this ring because at the time this is what I had out, and I decided this time let's do something different on the back of the ring. Instead of doing it like I normally do, yet let's use 8/0s so it's not as difficult. Because see this one here? These here are 10/0 seed beads. Let's use 8/0s and make this very easy. Because I'm right-handed, I'm going to hold it like this. See my strings where they're coming out at? I'm going to hold it like this. Okay, take the right string. I'm going to pick up one 11/0, 2 8s, 1 11, and crisscross through this 11. Now usually, like I said, I do all 10/0s back here, but when I go to add the ring band, it gets tight, and I wanted to change the ring band on this up, how it starts, this area here, how the ring band starts. This one actually was really good. When I take it off, it stays around, but some of the other ones I've made were like this. Okay, but that's because I had to do 11 O's because of the color choices that I had. So this one here, we're going to be doing it with 8 O's on the very back, and it makes it so much easier. So this string pointing down, that always is telling us that it has to go through a bead that's already weaved in. So taking this, I'm going to go through the next petal bead. So you just want to separate these and push that through. See that right there? Just came out here. Pull that tight. And then with the right side again, we're going to pick up 2 8s and then 1 11 and crisscross through this 11. Oops. My spiky ring got stuck on it. Okay, and again, we're going to do the same thing. Reposition this string. I have to go through a petal bead, so it helps to separate these petals some so you can get in here. I can't even see the hole. Where's the hole at? There it is. I think I'm going to flip this petal. Let me see. Pull that tight. I'm going to flip this petal up some, like this, so I can get through here. There we go. Okay. It's a little trick you can do. And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to pick up 2 8s again with the right side. Pick up 1 11, crisscross through it, pull it tight, go through the next flower with your inside string there. Okay, careful you don't get caught on the other petals. The daggers, I got caught on those so much. Now I'm going to take the outside one, the one on the right, pick up 2 8s, pick up an 11 0, crisscross through this bead, okay, reposition again, don't get stuck, pull it tight every time, 2 8s again. We are almost at the close, an 11, crisscross through this 11, and then take this string and go through the last petal, I was just thinking how I've not had to use my pliers to push a string through yet. Okay, I want up that 11. Pull this tight, put your ends together, pick up the last 2 8s, crisscross through these. Bring them down. Now see how this kind of looks wacky shaped? It's not really perfect circle. It's kind of like oval. It's been squished a lot. I'm going to take my strings, put them together, find the one that is longer, and then I'm going to, maybe I should get my needle again. I'm going to pass through all of these 8/0s on the bottom, forming a circle. This is going to bring all the beads together for me. I'm pushing these up because they've all been smashed with my fingers. And I'm just going to go like this. And I'm going to go through the 8/0s only, not the 11/0s. Okay, like that. Pull that tight. It's going to make it look so much better. It tidies up the bottom of the ring. It makes these lay side by side instead of like all where they're like laying over on each other. It makes them stand upright. Do the next two. And because these are 8/0s, we could pass through these multiple times, a lot, before they get filled up. And I don't have to use my pliers to push the string through. So see that? It's already getting around on us. I just have these. And then we're back at the start here. Okay. And I'm going to go through the first two. Actually, maybe I should stop and see how long my string is. Okay, now my black one's longer. So I'm going to take the black one and I'm going to go through these two. Okay. Pull it tight. I pull it very tight. And there we go. Looks perfect. Now the reason why I use the 11/0s here instead of the 8s there is because when I did the 8s there, it made this even taller. So see how this flower here, see how it sits really close to my finger? Like you really have to pry it to look underneath. Because I did the 10/0 seed beads there. So I first did 8/0s there, I'm like, it's made it too tall. So I realized, oh, I can do 11s there, because it's these ones here that I have to go through so many times that I only go through the 11s there twice. So that's always something that I think about. Now I have to position my string so I could pick up my ring band beads. So I'm going to take and find my longest string, which is the black one, and I'm going to go through these two. I want my ring to sit like this. I like the point being straight. I don't really like it like this. I don't like it like that at all. I've always liked them like this. So I'm going to make the back a certain way so that it lays like that. Okay, I'm going to go through these two now. Okay, so pulling through here. And then I'm going to go through these so I'm straight across. This is going to be weird how I'm doing this. I've never really done a ring band connected like this to the base of the ring. I've always started off of the side and go straight this way. This way it's going to be like a perfectly circular ring band because of how I'm coming off of the side. So see? I have a string coming out here and one coming out here like that. I'm going to move these over. And string coming out there, string coming out here. We're going to do the lattice ring band. This one here. It is my absolute favorite ring band out of them all. It really is. For the 2-needle technique, it's my favorite 2-needle one. Okay, I'm going to do 2 hematite colored seed beads. And then I'm going to do a clear. It's actually AB frosted clear. And then hematite on each side. Like this. Now normally I do 3, but I had to do 4 because of how I'm coming out of the base. And then I'm going to pick up a clear and crisscross through the clear. Bring it down. And then I'm going to pick up a hematite, clear hematite, on each side. Hematite, clear, oops, hematite. Pick up a clear and cross through it. We're going to be repeating this over and over. Okay, like that. I've made this ring band a ton. It's just the very base of the ring that's different. Okay, and then it's hematite, clear, hematite, hematite, clear, and hematite. Pick up a clear, crisscross, like that. Again, I think I'll do it 2 more times and then I'll fast forward. Hematite, clear, hematite, hematite, clear, hematite, or whatever color you're doing. I like doing 2 different colors for this. I always have, because it really shows off the pattern. Crisscross. Oops, I've crisscrossed to the wrong color. I'm supposed to do a clear one. So pick up a clear, crisscross through this. Now this one here I did do yellow in the center, but that's kind of because I thought it kind of looked like a flower here, where the yellow center and then the green vine on the side. So that's why I did that. But you can totally do whatever you want. One more time. Hematite, clear, hematite. Slide it down. Hematite, clear, hematite, and then crisscross through a clear. Okay, I'm going to keep going, and again, this is the ring band that does shrink, so it is the one that fusses with us. You have to make sure you get it just right. And what I've always just done to get this right is I make several circles, as you can see. I wrap it around my finger, okay, and when this meets up to here and it fits perfectly around my finger, I add just 2 more circles, and that's how I get it the perfect length, because it shrinks 2 circles. Okay, here we go. I kept on going and I finished off with the 2 hematites on each side, because that's how we started, remember, down there? So now what I'm going to do, separate my strings. I'm going to go straight across, okay, like we normally do, straight across to over here. But instead of going like this and crisscrossing, I'm just going to go straight through these 8/0s right here. You may have to bend the ring band this way. Okay, like that. And then I'm on this side. And then I take this side over here, and I'm going to do the same thing. Ugh, I just dropped them off. Okay, slide that down. Over here, I'm going to go through these 2. Just on the side over here. Okay, see that? So normally I crisscross on the sides. I've always done it that way. But this is the new way that I have figured out to do it. So now, going through here, I'm going to bend this down, okay? And I'm going to take my string and I'm going to go through these 2 hematite, and I have to go through that clear one, but that one's laying down for me, so I'll take this here, make that bead stand up, and then I'll pass through this clear, just like that. I hope you saw that. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. It's what I always do once I get back into this. Okay, so same thing over here. Coming out the 8s, I'm going to pass through these two hematite and through the clear. Now I'll probably have to do them separately because of the angle. Let me see. Can I get through one shot? Come on. Oh, right there. Okay, I got it. Okay, going through those. Don't let it get stuck. Don't get stuck. Alright. Pull it tight. Here we are. We are now on this side and we are ready to fill the sides in. So separate the strings. I hate when they get twisted like this. Drives me nuts. Now it's still going to act a little loose, so you have to constantly pull it tight as you go because of how I went straight through the other side instead of crisscrossing. It does that, and I like to use a needle to make those beads stand out. I'm going to pick up 2 of these at a time, and I have to go through the next clear one. This one here. These do not want to stand out for me, and they normally do. So that's weird. Okay. Right there. Just through the clear one. And I like to go, starting this off for the first time, I like to go back and forth the first couple rows on each string until I get the tension right, because it just feels too loose right now at this point. Okay, so I'm going to do it again, and then I'll go to the other side. So pick up 2, and we're getting closer to popping that bead out. See that time it popped out. Going through that clear. Okay. Pull that tight. See that? Filling in the gaps. Over here. Pick up 2. You know, it seems like once you do one side, the other side starts to pop out. See how it's kind of doing it by itself? So go through here. Like this. Pick up 2 again. To the next area here, fold this. There we go. I always like to pop the seed bead out because it makes it easier to go through. Pass through. Okay, and then pull both of these tight. Scrunch it down. Looking good. Looking good. Look at that. It is going to be a pretty ring band. Okay. And I just keep going, picking up 2 at a time like I've always done. I have done this ring band forever on my channel. 2 at a time. Come here, bead. Come here, bead. Come here. Naughty bead. You know what? I'm using Miyuki and these other beads that I think are Czech. And maybe that's why they're not popping like they usually do. I really do use a lot of Czech sea beads. I use more Czech than I do Miyuki. So maybe that's why I'm having this weird thing with them. But I never usually do have an issue with using 2 different brands together. Unless it's Toho. Toho has to be used with Toho. You can't mix those much, okay? So there's 2 up here, popping that bead out, picking up 2, going through the next. Next one, pop the next bead out. Yeah, I think that's what my issue is. I'm using 2 different brands. I normally don't have this problem though. Okay, I'll stop here, pull that tight. That's what that side looks like. I'm going to go to this side, show you what this side looks like done, because in case you're a newbie, I want to make sure that you understand everything I'm doing. I don't like leaving people behind. It's just not right. I want to make sure that you can do it. Going through here. I'm going through the wrong one. It's this one. That so pretty. I do like, whenever I make rings that are big, I feel like I should always have a wide ring band, because if I do a skinny ring band with a wide top, it just don't look right. It feels too wobbly, the top of the ring does. Okay, there we go. Actually, I have one more. Yeah, the top of the ring, if it's big and the ring band is skinny, then it's going to be wobbly feeling, like they're not attached right. Have you noticed that? If you've ever done like a really skinny ring band with a big top? So I like doing the wide one right there. This is one of the widest bands that I make. That is so pretty. It looks like a total mess. Like looking at it right here, it looks so messy to me. But once we put those beads in place, look at how pretty that is. I'm going to keep going doing this, putting 2 seed beads in at a time. You don't have to go back and forth now. We've already got this really tight here. You can just stay on one side all the way to the end. That's probably what I will do. And something else we could try to help us with these weird seed beads is go like this. Look at that. That's working. It's popping them out for us. Okay. So I'm just going to go through, do that. A few rows there. Let's see. Yep, that worked. Why did I not think of that earlier? I use that all for everything, and I did not think of that before. Okay, I'm going to keep going, and I will be back when I get to the other side and show you how to close this up. Okay, I've made it all the way around. I'm over here at the close. I have to put 2 seed beads in right here and 2 over there. So I'm just going to bend this down. These beads are going to pop out for me, and then I'm going to pass through them. Can also use this all to make them go through. Okay, and then I guess I'll go to the next one. There's just one more right here. This one. Okay, and then I'm going to go straight through these. The 2 8/0s. Where has my pliers gone? Okay, it's a little hard to grip this area, so just... Okay, now I'm gonna go through these here because it's kind of a tight area, and we'll start tying our knots. You know what, I might just be able to do it here because I could bend this down. Yeah, I can. Okay, Now, I'm using small seed beads and I'm using a heavy weight monofilament. It's 10 pound. So I will have to tie regular half-hitch knots. I usually like to double them. But whenever I use the thicker size, I have to do it this way. So going back to this area over here, I picked up my last two to fill this gap. Slide those down. Get my own. Go through this bead and through the next one. Okay. I have 111 over here. And then I'm going to go through these 8s just like I did on the other side. Okay. But I'm going to stop here. Of course I'm going to go through that 11 like I did in this side. But I'm just going to stop for now here. Pull this tight, pull this very tight, and I'm going to go to this side where I'm already coming out and I'm going to tie a knot. So I just pass underneath right here, okay, and I go through the loop one time. Bring this knot down, make it sit right there. Pull that knot down, okay, and then I'm going to pass through these 3 seed beads and tie another knot here, and I'm going to go as far as I can reinforcing tying knots. You could also possibly, instead of tying knots in here, you could maybe have tied a knot in between these two and then go through this bead, skip over the 11-0, and go through the next 8-0, this one right here. You have to use your awl, okay? Tie a knot in between here, maybe. But see, then you would do the same thing on this side. You would meet up in the middle, and then you would have to go straight up. So, I don't know. It seems like it's usually best, if it's too hard to tie knots in the top, to do it in the ring band. So I think I will continue on tying my knots here in the ring band in between the hematite seed beads. And that's it. You'll be all done. This turned out cool. I've smashed my ring so many times that the center sunk in again. But you know, it kind of looks cool sunken in. It looks like a different flower. Usually I have it puffed out, and that's because these are 10-0 seed beads. These were 11, so they sunk in. But yes, we are all done. This is it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you found it extremely informative, because I have made so many of these flowers. I've done it so many different ways, and I'm still finding new ways to do it all the time, and I still can't believe that I am continuing to make this many flowers. So I hope that you had a great time watching this and that you learned something, and maybe you have some beads in your stash that you can use to make a flower ring like this. And remember, if you want to see my other flower ring videos, go to my YouTube channel, go to playlists, and go to rings, and you'll see all my rings there. I think I have over 60 different ring tutorials now. So please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Make sure you click the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload new videos, and check me out on my social media sites. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. Thanks for watching.